Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, working with micro shards and micro strikers. Beaverbushcraft's put out a challenge, and I haven't bought their challenge kit. I have one of their micro or mini kits, but by the time I order and purchase the micro kit, I doubt it would get here in time for the challenge. It's running in February. I don't know. Anyway, the more expensive kit's too expensive for me to buy. At the moment, it's £65. For the 4 strikers, comes a really nice kit. It's a nice kit. And I've got to add international shipping, which would be £14.5 as well. Take it up over nearly £80. It'll be $150 Aussie by the time I get it here. So yeah, it's quite an expensive set for me. I do have this one that I have bought off Beaverbushcraft. This is one of their pocket kits. I keep it in, I made that up, but I keep it in one of their drawstring bags. It's a beautiful little micro kit. Came with a piece of, that's the striker. It's about as big as their one of their strikers that comes in. It's not the smallest one, but it's one of their other ones that is about, I think they're mini C-type. It'd be about the same size as that. Norfolk flint, Amadou, jute in that kit. Very small kit. It's a beautiful little kit. I have here, and I've got Amadou there, Amadou fluff. I've fooled around with micro kits before and micro shards. Done a lot of fooling around with that. I like to test myself with it. I made up this micro set and a few smaller strikers. These are all smaller than this. Some of them are about the same size. That's almost a 1-inch striker. It's 28.6 by 27.1 mils. So yeah, just a little bit over the inch striker. This one's 38.1 mils by 14.8 mils. These are quite large compared to, those two are both the same. Now they're just snapped off files and ground to shape. That's the smallest striker I've made to date. It's a snapped off file, ground to shape. It's 14.8 mils by 19.5 mils long. It's a tiny little piece of file that I can easily get to spark. That's on Norfolk flint. That's easy to use on Norfolk flint. If you really want to stretch yourself out, and I'll turn that off later, start working with micro shards, small flints. Some of this is flint, some of it's petrified wood. That's a tiny little shard of flint. I'm getting sparks off that. It's a bit bigger piece. It's quite an easy piece to use because it's quite large, relatively speaking. It's a bit blunt. Okay, might be getting a bit ambitious. There, I'm getting sparks off that. Another very small piece. Okay, it's the sharp edges. You just got to look for a sharp edge. And this is where it becomes you're ridiculously sized. See, they're all blunt. They're all blunt edges. That one's about the sharpest one. See, they're quite large. I'll try that with some Amadou fluff. That tiny little shard and some Amadou fluff as a challenge. Now apparently this is a challenge for the top 1% using Amadou and getting it to blown into flame. I'm pulling a bit of Amadou off just so that I've got a little bit of Amadou in there so that I can ember transfer and get it hot enough in there. Some Amadou fluff. That's the shard I'm going to use. On my striker, my little striker. So here we go. There we go. Hope that was in frame. It was only within a couple of strikes. I just lost it. I don't think that was it. It just fell down there. That was it. Oh, I've just lost it. Couldn't read about that. I've got little shards all through there now anyway, that's so disappointing. It was about the same size as that, using that striker. I don't know where it's gone in there. It fell in there somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. It's disappeared into the bits there, and there's so much debris and bits of rock and that it was on film. You saw that I showed you that before. It's all using that size striker. That's about as small as I can go. I can do the mini one. That's easy. That's not a hard ask at all. On using Norfolk flint and Amadou, it's not a hard ask at all, to tell you the truth. As I said, I've practiced this before, so that's why I'm probably making it look a little bit easier than that. This is well within my skill set now. As I said, I've practiced it, so it's not too difficult a task. It's just being able to hold on to it, and Amadou's really good. I don't want to need to use that one anymore. Amadou's good because it holds together and it's quite a robust. Oh, that's the problem I have, is the fact that I was going for a one strike catch. Excuse me, my stomach's burping. As I said, those are easy enough to use, that size striker, with my skill set. But I've practiced on these quite a bit as far as using that size striker, and these smaller ones, again, I reiterate, I've used on smaller shards, that size striker, but that's as small as I can go. My fingers just won't allow me to manipulate a striker smaller than that. But I can go down to quite small shards and be able to, well, that's a fairly, that's not a, it's a fairly small shard, but I think it's pretty fragile. It's too fragile. It'll just, I end up breaking it. I haven't got really small shards here. It's a fairly small shard. Got one spark. Yeah, I'm getting sparks off that, but they just break up. That's, I got sparks off it, but it just shatters them. I have caught shards, smaller sparks, sparks on char cloth, using tiny little shards, you know, like little shards like that, and getting them to spark. And it's just a matter of getting them to spark and then catching it on getting that stray spark to catch but you can use shards that big on it. Anyway, I've shown that I can do it on film using Amadou. I may buy down the track, I may buy the smallest one of their strikers. I'll see how I go, but yeah, as you can see, it's well within my skill set to be able to do this. Anyway, thanks for watching.